Welcome to another episode of Manchester United Farm. What's going on? We have got the latest soap opera news and goings on at this football club. That was the Emmerdale theme tune. It was meant to be anyway, guys. That was meant to be the Emmerdale theme tune. Sorry, I'm a little bit tone deaf. Everyone, welcome into the live chat. Sorry to keep you waiting there, guys. A few things to set up there, but I hope you're all doing well today. Get in there, you legends. How are we all doing? Thank you for joining the stream today. We've got all the latest United news of the day. We'll cover it in this afternoon show. Of course, we will be back on at 10 p.m. tonight as well for the evening's news. But we'll get stuck into it. We'll get stuck into all the latest news and dissect it, see what's going on of the day. It's swelteringly hot here in the old garage studio, my friends. And, we're probably... And I'm also melting. I've got a bit of melt fever or something on the go. I don't know. Definitely a little bit under the weather today. But we will we'll get on with the latest informazione, and we'll cover the news. Everyone, thank you very much for joining us and getting in here. I do appreciate you. Much love to you all. How are you doing? Do us a favour at the start of the show. Smash that like button on it if you haven't done so. Give us a massive thumbs up on this video. That would be awesome. Every little like helps with the stream. Share us around on social media if you haven't done so. That would be amazing. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat there. You can go give us a cheeky little retweet over there on Twitter. We'll give you a shout out later on. But yeah, hit the thumbs ups, guys. Smash the subscribe as well if you're new, and get yourself involved throughout the show. We would love to hear from you. I guess we better start off with the news about Antony then. Obviously, we are a little bit late to the party on this one. But Antony dos Santos has been given a leave of absence by Manchester United. I guess, obviously, all these allegations mounting up, and it's probably the right thing for Manchester United to do, to be fair. They've not suspended him, so to speak, but they've given him a leave of absence, obviously, right now, due to the fact that he's going to have to defend himself over the next sort of few weeks, months. Chewbacca! Chewamani! Goodness me. Bless me. Sorry for that, guys. I've got melt fever or something going on today. It is very dusty in this garage at the best of times. It is literally just the garage that I'm stuck in right now. So, plus, I just woken up with a full-on melt fever today. So you have to forgive all the sneezing and spluttering that's going to go on throughout the show today. But, we'll crack on. We'll soldier on. So Manchester United have released this statement. And the statement from Manchester United reads as such. I put it in the bottom right-hand corner there, but it says, Manchester United acknowledges the allegations made against Antony. Players who have not participated in international matches are due back to training on Monday. However, it has been agreed with Antony that he will delay his return until further notice in order to address the allegations. As a club, we condemn acts of violence and abuse. We recognise the importance of safeguarding all those involved in this situation and acknowledge the impact that these allegations have on survivors of abuse. So, obviously, I think Manchester United are essentially doing the right thing, really, here. Allowing time for Antony to defend himself, but also, as they've said, safeguarding the potential alleged victims of this, just in case, really. There may be grounds for this. Obviously, there's allegations being bandied towards Antony, and it's not just to safeguard the potential alleged victims either. It's to safeguard those who are affected by domestic abuse in general and fans of Manchester United. So I think that's what it is. So smash a 1 in the live chat if you think that Manchester United are right to sort of oversee this period of absence for Antony at this moment in time. Not the best thing for the club, obviously. Very bad for us from a PR standpoint, and just from a depth and a squad standpoint to lose yet another right winger. See, Mason Greenwood out to Getafe, was a right winger for us, and with what's going on with Jadon Sancho, it's just not very good at this moment in time. But a few ones coming in the live chat there, as you can see. I think a lot of people do think it's probably the right thing to do. As we've said many times, actually, this is not an indication of guilt. This is not Manchester United saying that Antony may well be guilty, so we are essentially suspending him or giving him a period of absence because he's guilty. No, this is not an admission of guilt. What this is Man United acknowledging the allegations that have been made against Antony, and probably doing what's best for the player as well as alleged victims, and also anybody that has been affected by domestic abuse. So this is a safeguarding thing. This is a protection sort of measure from Manchester United here in order to probably do the right thing at this moment in time. We've heard calls from various different sort of factions and domestic abuse charities and all sorts of different people in the media suggesting that United should put some sort of policy in place so we can know what to do when this sort of allegation does rear its ugly head. And at this moment, this is probably the best way of dealing with it. Until you find out more information, don't let him play for the football club. For a start, his focus wouldn't really be there on the pitch anyway because of what's going on off the field. And he's going to have to defend himself. He's got things to sort out in terms of legal aspects, lawyers, getting his defence sorted, etc. All of that kind of thing is obviously going to take his mental time up and his energy up. So he's going to have to do all of that off the field. It's probably not the best time to be playing football anyway, just because, well, football fan bases and rival fan bases can be very toxic. He would probably be a target for rival fan bases online, and also during games, obviously crowd interaction, that kind of thing was going to obviously weigh heavy on Antony. So this is very much, I think, just a protection measure from Man United to try and just lessen the negative effects, both on the football club, obviously from a PR standpoint, and of course on Antony, and also from any sort of potential sufferers of domestic abuse currently and in the past. So yeah, this is what's gone on. Obviously I'll put the statement up here as well just so you can read it a little bit better, but as I said, it reads: breaking Manchester United statement obviously on Antony, as Manchester United acknowledges the allegations made against Antony. Players who have not participated in international matches are due back in training on Monday. However, it has been agreed with Antony that he will delay his return. So this is not a suspension. Man United haven't suspended him pending further investigation. This is not the same as the Greenwood scenario, or at least it's not worded the same. This is a leave of absence, basically. This is a period of absence that they've allowed Antony to undergo, rather than a suspension. They may well, take that sort of stance at some point, but maybe they're just wording it differently because they don't want to suggest that there's another player that's, been suspended or, not been toeing the line in terms of professionalism or, whatever the case may be. But either way, they have said now that he is on a period of absence. It says it's been agreed Antony will delay his return until further notice in order to address the allegations, so to give him time to focus. As a club, we condemn the acts of violence and abuse. We recognise the importance of safeguarding all those involved in this situation. So that's the victims, that's Antony, that's the alleged victims, I should say, that's Antony, and that's any sufferers of domestic abuse in the past. And they acknowledge that the impact these allegations have on survivors of abuse. So yes, I think Man United have done the right thing here, folks. At the time, at this current time, it's probably the best for Antony. It's probably the best for anybody that has suffered from domestic abuse in the past, fans of Manchester United and the wider society. And also, certainly, if there is any grounds to these allegations, then it's safeguarding the victims to a degree as well. So that's from Manchester United's communications department at 1 p.m. today. It's not nice to discuss this. Obviously, it's a big soap opera that's taking place at Manchester United. It's just another extra shovel of shit in the steaming pile of crapola that is taking place at Manchester United at the moment. It's one statement to the next, it seems, all the time. And it is a bit of a It's a bit of a tough topic to digest at this moment in time, guys, especially after the Greenwood scenario. We're going to cover the rest of the goings on, obviously, throughout this show. But do us a favour, if you're just getting in the stream, we've got 200 legends watching the show. Smash the like button on it. Let's see if we can get 200 likes on this show. I know it's obviously not a nice sort of topic, but you can help out the show by smashing the thumbs up on this video. It's free to like the video. All we ask for is a cheeky little like spike. And also, if you are new, hit the subscribe button, because we are on here daily with the latest United news, and we'll be on here tonight as well with the evening's news. So let's talk about what Antony said. So Antony's statement reads as this. Antony dos Santos has released a statement as well and said that I have agreed with United to take a period of absence while I address the allegations made against me. This was a mutual decision. So again, the club not suspending Antony. This is a mutual decision. He says, I want to reiterate my innocence of the things I have been accused of. I will fully cooperate with the police. So, yeah, it seems like Antony's fully prepared to undergo this period of absence. Seems like he's fully prepared, obviously, to defend himself. We've heard from Antony's previous statements that he is innocent. He's claimed that he's innocent and that he's got the evidence to defend himself, and he feels that there's a level of fabrication that's taking place with some of these reports from his exes and things like that. So, obviously, he's got his work cut out for him in terms of defending himself over the next coming months. It's a slow process, these legal things, obviously, and I think it's not going to be resolved overnight, this, unfortunately. I guess the best outcome in terms of time frame for Man United would be if, I guess, the Brazilian authorities and the Greater Manchester Police have looked at all the evidence that they've got, and certainly and looked at these allegations that have been levelled towards Antony, and basically take the stance or have a look and decide based on what's available that there isn't much of a grounds for anything. That would be the best outcome, of course, for Antony and for Manchester United as a football club. Otherwise, if there is serious things to investigate here and there are grounds for prosecution, there are grounds for these crimes, alleged crimes, being true, then of course it's going to take a long time, and it's just another tumultuous period of time for another Man United player and the club, where we are going to have the player's name dragged through the mud for a long period of time. So we're obviously hopeful on this matter that it's not true, but again, Man United and Antony and all that kind of stuff, this is the secondary thing, really. The primary thing about this is to decide whether or not there is a victim of a crime here. That's the most important thing. And if there is a victim of a crime here, and Antony has committed these allegations and these crimes, then he should be, of course, punished. And the victims, if it's found to be the case, obviously, need to be protected and helped as much as possible. So that's the primary thing, really. The secondary thing is the club and the player, obviously. It's about establishing who's the victim, what the levels of these crimes are, etc. So, it's a tough period for United, this. It's just another extra bad situation to add to the many lists of bad situations that's taken place at the football club. Pretty awful, really. But that is Antony's statement. He has said that it's obviously a mutual agreement that he's going on leave. And that's the case. He's not suspended as such. It does seem like a decision on Antony, obviously, has been taken due to this situation going on and these allegations. James Ducker from the Telegraph saying the decision for Antony to not return to Man United's training was taken to allow him to focus on defending himself and to prevent the situation from becoming a huge distraction for the club. So as we mentioned earlier, it is obviously a lot down to the fact that this is bad PR for United. It's distracting for the football club, especially if he's playing for us with all this going on and all these allegations taking place. It's obviously very distracting for Antony as well. Like, his focus isn't going to be there to the same degree as just a footballer who's got to focus on playing the game and working hard for the team when he's got all these allegations to deal with off the pitch as well. So I think, probably the right thing for Manchester United to suspend him at this moment in time. It's a very tough topic, guys, and nobody wants to discuss this, and it's just a horrendous situation. That's the truth. So, unfortunately, this is going to have wider ramifications for Manchester United as well. I guess it links into the Jadon Sancho stuff. We're going to have to sort of talk about that now as well, and also Pellistri and the right winger position. We've got no Greenwood, we've got no Antony available to us at the moment. Look, obviously, whether or not you think these guys should be playing for us is sort of redundant at the moment. They're not. Greenwood's in playing for Get Off Me FC. And, obviously Antony's now on a period of absence. So who have we got available to play at right wing? What are we going to do at Manchester United for the right wing? I'll ask the live chat very quickly. Who should we be playing at right wing now during Antony's absence? Who should we be playing at right wing? Obviously, I guess the most obvious answer would be Facundo Pellistri. But that's only due to the fact that Jadon Sancho's having this terrible situation with Ten Hag and is, of course, butting heads with him in the public. So, obviously, Sancho would be the choice because he's got the most experience, and we've paid £73 million for that guy. He's on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. But certainly, at this moment in time, based on sort of form and based on who's actually deserving of a chance, I think it's got to be Pellistri, doesn't it, based on what's happened with Jadon Sancho. So, we'll see, obviously, what decisions Ten Hag makes over the next sort of coming weeks, but it does look like there's going to have to be a certain certain level of repair going on between the player and the manager in regards to Sancho. And it's very unlikely, I think, that Sancho's immediately brought back into the side, because I think he's going to be made an example of out of Ten Hag. Ten Hag cannot be happy with the way that Jadon Sancho responded to him talking about him publicly in terms of being a bad trainer. So, you know, what a horrible situation, guys. We've gone from having like 3 top-class wingers. We were actually talking in the summer transfer window about the level of depth that Manchester United have in those wide areas. We were saying, oh, we need another midfielder. We need another centre-back. We certainly need another number 9. But nobody was really worried too much about the wide areas, because on the left-hand side, we got Rashford. You got players like Garnacho. Of course, players like Martial, who could even play there. And on the right-hand side, you know, you had Sancho, you had Antony, Pellistri, Amad Diallo. Well, Diallo's injured. Sancho's got this issue now with Ten Hag. Antony's been given a period of absence due to all these allegations and investigations going on, and Greenwood's playing for Qatar FC. So this is serious. This is pretty serious. We've all of a sudden had some issues in terms of depth on the right-hand side. But let's see what the live chat's saying here. Leaked Wisdom says Pellistri, 100%, he's always keen to prove his worth. Certainly does perform to a good standard, and I agree with you. That's a good shout. Leaked Wisdom, lad, probably makes the most sense. Ronnie Dodge says Mount. Yeah, so this is interesting, isn't it? We've seen, you know, Ten Hag play players, I guess, somewhat out of position. Look, Mount can play there. So can Bruno Fernandes. It's not their best positions, but they can play there. And maybe you see something like Mount through the middle and Bruno on the right, or Bruno through the middle and Mount on the right. That is very true. So good shout there. Pellistri and Ahmad. Well, once Ahmad's back to full fitness, that is definitely another option as well. McTerminator says Bruno right wing. Yep. Stephen Shipner says Pellistri and Garnacho. Precisely. I guess, yeah, you've got players like Garnacho, like Martial, who could play over there on that right-hand side. I mean, it's not their ideal positions, but they could play there. Rashford's another one. You know, Rashford's another one as well, who could play out there, I suppose. Mount says Rajat. Bruno on the wing says Rajat. Pellistri. Okay, Bruno says Randon. Yeah, I think you'll probably see something like that. It's not ideal, though, peeps. It's really not ideal for us to be doing that. I agree with Gungshi. Give a run in the side to a true out-and-out right winger. Give a run in the side to Pellistri, who's looking hungry, who's looking deserving of this, of course. And it's just in a good sort of, good sort of period for him. He's had a good pre-season. He's not been really given that many chances since the season started. This is a great chance for him to maybe step up with absences from other players. But just let's move on. Let's just shelve the Antony stuff for a moment. We can get back into this in a bit. We, of course, are going to have a Q&A at the end of the show as well, and any sort of new breaking news that comes out about this situation we will discuss throughout the show. But let's just move on to the Sancho situation here, because look, there is a chance maybe this could all be forgotten. This could be a case where Ten Hag's pretty desperate to have that right winger in the side, a senior right winger, and so he does maybe make some allowances for Jadon Sancho's absolute meltery and brings him back into the side here, and potentially squashes this beef that they've currently got at this moment. So let's just discuss the Jadon Sancho situation and the Jadon Sancho news. So, you know, obviously Sancho and Ten Hag are expected to have to undergo talks at this moment. This is not a situation that's just going to go away overnight, I don't think. In fact, Sancho's stance seems to be the same, because he hasn't deleted any posts that he's made on social media. He's doubled down, in fact, by pinning these comments to the top of his social media profiles. And this is very concerning, obviously. He's not backed down. He's not deleted his messages. How can he possibly be introduced back into the side by Erik Ten Hag if he's still sticking to his guns on his thoughts and opinions about, you know, essentially his manager being wrong and his manager being a liar? He literally, his statement read along the lines of that, you know, he's being made a scapegoat, and that he's worked very hard in training, and that, you know, don't believe what is said basically by the manager. And as long as you've got that pinned to your social media wall, you are not going to be in a position where you're selectable, I don't think, for Manchester United. So this guy needs to delete it. He needs to move on. He needs to apologise, probably delete it, and then release a statement saying, I apologise for my wrongness. And look, Ten Hag's obviously had his methods and decided to say this publicly, and I should have responded better. And we've had a conversation with Erik Ten Hag, and now, you know, I realised I am a melter and I'm in the wrong, and I'm going to work hard and knuckle down and try and get back into the side. So I agree, Travis, he has a poor mentality, it seems. You know, and okay, you can work with these players and try and make them a little bit stronger, try and make them more professional, try and, give them allowances mentally. Ten Hag's done that with Jadon Sancho. Last season, he allowed him to go away for a few months to get himself mentally right and to work on himself, to hopefully bring him back to the fore. But unfortunately, that has backfired now again with maybe this last-ditch attempt by Ten Hag to try and get a reaction, a response out of Sancho by publicly talking about him. And it's backfired very badly, of course. So let's just discuss that for a moment. So look, obviously James Ducker from the Telegraph is saying Ten Hag's now due to speak to face-to-face with Sancho for the first time since the public outburst that infuriated the United manager and cast fresh doubt over the player's long-term future at the club. So there are talks that are expected to take place right now, showdown talks essentially. Various outlets reporting that Sancho and Ten Hag are going to have some talks soon. And let's hope that that has a positive outcome. But it is known that, of course, Ten Hag's very much not happy about the way that Jadon Sancho came out and sort of publicly criticised the manager. You can't be doing that, really. He's out of favour right now with the manager. He's not happy with how he responded. So, obviously, look, Ten Hag's done that for a reason, to try and get a professional response out of him on the pitch and in training, and it didn't happen. And reports now that sources at United are doubtful that there's a way back for Jadon Sancho under Erik Ten Hag. It's also added that the Dutch manager was deeply unimpressed by Sancho's recent response to the comments. I think that's fair. I think that's probably the situation, really. I think Ten Hag did that to get a response. The response he's got is the opposite of what he wanted, and he's now basically thrown his toys out of the pram. That's what's happened, and obviously Ten Hag's going to be very unimpressed with that and not happy about the matter, and therefore it probably, drives an even bigger wedge between the manager and the player now. So it's quite unlikely that he brings him back into the side just like that. He might make him work for it. Look, he might bench him for a while. He might give the opportunities to other players like Pellistri or Mount or Bruno or Ahmad or whoever is actually available and fit to play in that right-wing position. And just and make Jadon Sancho apologise. Make Jadon Sancho wait it out on the sidelines until he's prepared to come back with his tail between his legs and admit that he was wrong. The manager kind of has to take that stance. It doesn't matter whether you think Ten Hag's wrong or right for doing what he did. It actually doesn't matter. He's the numero uno at the football club and you can't undermine him. And so Jadon Sancho is in the position where he's got to back down. If he wants to get back into this United team, he's got to back down. He's got to unpin that message on social media and delete it, and ideally release a response apologising and stating that he was in the wrong. Smash a 1 if you agree with that statement, guys, that Sancho needs to back down, he needs to apologise, he needs to unpin that comment if he wants to get back into the side, because he cannot be undermining the manager. It's that simple. Smash a 1 if you agree, or smash a 2 if you think he's right and that he should stick to his guns on this one. But there's no way back for him in the team if he sticks to his guns, I don't think. And even if he does do what I've just said and back down and get sent down and work hard and apologise, it's probably going to take some time to build that relationship back up and get that level of trust again with Erik Ten Hag. Because unfortunately, you just can't be talking about your manager like that way publicly. It doesn't add up, doesn't make sense. So it is quite doubtful that there's a way back at the moment. James Ducker says that some sources at Old Trafford seem doubtful that there's a way back for Sancho under Ten Hag. And in all actuality, it's quite possible that United are already working on trying to get rid of Jadon Sancho and moving him on, be it now. Well, obviously not now because it's very hard to move him on now, but in the January transfer window, they're already working on potentially moving him on. And there are obviously clubs that are supposed to be interested in him, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. But obviously, Ten Hag's unimpressed with Sancho, and as we've talked about, Sancho's still got that message pinned to his wall. So this is from Alex Turk, who just says that he can't believe that Sancho's statement hasn't been removed. Never mind unpinned. He's dug his own grave at the worst possible time, and if he doesn't want to play on the right, it's time to give a chance to someone who will actually give their all to the minimum at United. Hey, thank you, Blakey Biz, for subscribing to the channel there. I appreciate you. Yes, indeed, hit the subscribe if you're new like Blakey Biz, and smash that like button if you're just getting in. Nice one. So I agree with this statement really from Alex Turk, and if we have a look at this, look at that. He's still got it pinned. This is just from a couple of hours ago. He's still got it pinned, guys, to his social media wall, his statement. And if you didn't see his statement, his statement basically condemns Erik Ten Hag and says that he's a liar, insinuates it at least. Says, please don't believe everything you read. I will not allow people saying things that is completely untrue. I've conducted myself in training very well this week. I believe there are other reasons to this matter that I won't go into. I've been a scapegoat for a long time, which isn't fair. So what are the other reasons? I think probably it's down to the fact that he selects Antony ahead of him, and it's probably because Sancho feels that Antony's Ten Hag's golden child, which is true to a degree. He says, all I want to do is play football with a smile on my face and contribute to my team. I respect all decisions that are made by the coaching staff. I play with fantastic players. I'm grateful to do so, which I know every week is a challenge. I will continue to fight for this badge no matter what. So that's what Jadon Sancho obviously said, and he's not deleted that yet, guys. He's still stuck with that same sentiment. It's on his wall. It's pinned to the top. And I'm sorry to say, but until that's gone and he's released basically a retraction, i.e. a statement that says, I was in the wrong and I'm prepared to be a big man and put my hands up and say that Ten Hag was right to do what he said, or if he wasn't right, I certainly shouldn't have come out and said what I said. I should have been professional, kept my head down and talked about the matter behind closed doors with Erik Ten Hag and apologised to the manager. If he apologises publicly, maybe there's a way back for him, but if he doesn't apologise, I can't imagine there is a way back for this guy. Just because Erik Ten Hag's in a tricky situation now with that right wing position where Antony's been given a period of leave and he's got these allegations hanging over him, and we've got Greenwood out on loan at Get Off Me FC and all the rest of it. Just because that's the case doesn't mean that Ten Hag can just bend over and allow player power to rule the day. Ten Hag has to stay firm. He's the authoritarian figure in Manchester United. He's got to remain and retain a level of professionalism throughout the squad. You can't have players just saying things like this and criticising the manager publicly. I mean, it's known that several players in the squad maybe are not happy with the way that Jadon Sancho goes about things like training and his performances, and certainly a few players are not happy with the way that he responded to Erik Ten Hag, because it does undermine things at United, the people like Bruno Fernandes, etc. So yes, look, not a great time for United's right wing. Not a great time. And if Sancho's going to get back into the team, he's got to back down. He's got to back down. Yeah, that's a great shout there, Gung. She says Ten Hag should give Pelistri the right wing position. Absolutely. Ten Hag should give Pelistri the right wing position. Spot on. I think so too. You can't really be in the camp of Jadon Sancho should just be immediately brought back in there, because Sancho needs to be made an example of really right now. He does. It might seem a little bit like counterproductive because United need players available there. But even if he's going to be brought back in a few weeks or a couple of weeks, you've at least got to bench him for a little while and make an example out of him if you're Erik Ten Hag, because you can't just have players saying what they want in the public. It sets a bad precedent for the football club. It's just going to become like that all the way. I mean, it really does piss me off, actually. That we've got to that stage. Yes, social media is probably largely responsible for this, because back in the day, it would have taken a much more serious outburst, I suppose, in order for this to actually come to light, i.e. a player talking directly in a post-match interview to the camera, or, a player doing an interview, sit-down interview with a journalist for a newspaper or something like that in order for this to get out to this degree. Now, somebody who's hot-headed can just go on social media, post something after the game, and it completely undermines the authority of the manager, and it causes big problems for Manchester United, and it's just so easy to do nowadays. So, yes, social media, this new modern society, is at fault for this in a way, but that's the reality. That's the modern era, and that's part of football these days, sadly, is these players and their social media presences. And a lot of these bloody footballers, man, I have to say, in this day and age, they're all just bloody Instagram footballers. They're Hollywood footballers. They're big bollocks, big brand footballers. That's what they're all about. They're just about players. They're just these individual players, these brands that they're building. Oh, boo-hoo, look at me, I'm a fucking Jesse Lingard clove manufacturing melter who can't even play football. You know what I'm saying? I've got more interest in looking good in some fucking gas-tastic bloody JD Sports clobber than I have playing football, it seems. There's so many Instagram footballers these days. It does my bloody head in. Fulfill your potential, work bloody hard, get your head down, stop posting shite on social media, all loads of fucking guff that's got nothing to do with football, and be a professional player, like the olden days. Imagine Paul Scholesy back in the day. Would he be fucking posting shite on social media to this degree? I can't imagine that he would, even if he was. Obviously, he's posting shite on social media now because he's not a bloody player playing for Manchester United. But if he was, would he be posting shite on social media all the time, making clothing brands? Probably not. This is where these players are these days, unfortunately. They need to get their heads right. Work properly, work hard, stay professional, get your head in the game. Don't be a bloody melter and start focusing on the job at hand. You're getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, guys. Everyone comes into for criticism in their working life, and you're no different. Just because you're on £100,000 a week and you're a mollycoddled melter. You know what I mean? Man the fuck up, modern day footballers. They don't know how good they've got it. It's unreal. Thank you for your super chat there, Rory C. I appreciate you, bro. Get in there. He says he should be continually fined until the post is deleted. A couple of weeks fine on top. Rory C. What a great comment, my friend. Yes. Bring in the name of Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag into disrepute. 2 weeks' wages. Fine, son. Smash a 1 in the chat if you agree. I do agree, Rory. It's that serious of a matter here. Publicly undermining the manager, you can't do that. And you're right. For every day that it's pinned, he should be fined, lad. I actually do agree with that, bud. I think you're spot on, lad. This is super unprofessional from Jadon Sancho. Whether you think Ten Hag's right or wrong to actually talk publicly about it, it's not his place to come out and undermine the manager. Sing Games, that's a very interesting point. He says, I think the starting 11's made up from those with the most followers, to be honest. What a debacle. Great shout. I mean, there is an element of that, to be fair. I know, John Boy. Well, Billy, look, it just things trigger me sometimes, lad. Some things trigger me sometimes, and it's just this modern-day footballer. It's the position that we've got to now with modern-day football. You know, this isn't the olden days. This is very, very different. I mean, to be fair, right, guys, so my great-granddad was a professional footballer. He played for Leicester. He played for Bradford Park Avenue. He played for a couple of other teams, right? And this was a long time ago. We're talking early bloody 1900s or whatever it was. 1920s or some shite. Great-granddad, long time ago, right? But if they lost the game, he just got tram fare home. You know what I mean? That's the amount of money they were paid. If they lost, they got tram fare home. I think even if they drew, it was basically like a performance-based contract. You just got paid your bloody travel, unless you won. If you won, you got half a pig in sovereign or something at the time, you know. And if you lost, you just got fucking tram fare home, mate. That was that was what it was like to be a footballer back then. You played for the love of the game. You played for the love of the game. You didn't play for hundreds of thousands of pounds a week and refuse to play because you're not mollycoddled to the degree that you want. You know? So, the modern day, these players don't know how good they have it. There's people working proper jobs in society for a pittance. And these guys are just getting hundreds of thousands of pounds a week to kick a ball around, to be fair. And they're still not happy about it. Fucking melters. BA Studios, thank you very much for getting in here with your super chat, bro. He says, Pallister and maybe give academy players a chance. Policry, I'm guessing, right? I'm guessing you mean Policry there, PA Studios. Yeah, there you go, exactly. Give some chances to other opportunities also. You know, people like Ahmad Diallo might be a good shout to give some opportunities to in that position. Thank you, DS Tube. Gang, she says, Pig the Mount needs a visit from Sam and Don Pigney and his boys. Oh, goodness me. Bradford Park Avenue, nice, yeah. Old school, lad, old school. So, TikTok, yeah, precisely, exactly, Stephanie, you know. Oh, Sing Game says, my dad played for Bury. He got sacked because he did not like to go to training. Well, okay then, fair enough. So a bit of a Jadon Sancho, your old man then. You know what I mean? Oh, lucky to get the train. I wouldn't let him on the coach. Nice one, nice one. So there you go. It's just these modern day players, unfortunately. I think we're going to see more of this. Going to see more of this in the, more of this in the current era. Okay, what's going on here? Hang on a second, guys. We've got some more information coming out here. What's going on? Thank you very much, Rushman. I'll get onto that in a little bit. Rushy just sent me some more information. Thank you so much. We'll get onto that in a little bit. Hey, Jarvis Cocker, how you doing? He says, Sancho behaves like an entitled and self-important individual. It's time for him to mature, take responsibility and make better career choices. So true. He's not an 18-year-old kid. And if he was, he should be prepared to toe the line more anyway. He's 23 now. He is a man. And he's got to act like one. And he in particular is somebody that has failed to impress at United since coming, really, for the amount of money that he came in for, the amount of money that he's paid, and the sort of reputation and the potential we thought he had. Unfortunately, he has really fallen by the wayside with his performances. And if anybody should just knuckle down and work hard and toe the line and, not speak out of turn, it's Jadon Sancho. Fair enough if you're like some match-winning beast. Maybe you could be afforded to relax a little bit in training if you're going out there on match day and performing like an absolute lion. He's not performing like a lion. He's performing like a pussycat. And we see him, now kicking up a fuss, and we just don't like that. Yeah, isn't this social media? You're on Facebook and TikTok, says Clint Torres. What's your point, Clint Torres, mate? Yeah, this is the platform. This is social media, mate. What's your point, bro? Do you not realise that I'm here to have my say? That's what I'm doing. This is what this channel's about. I'm not Jadon Sancho, who's a professional footballer, who has to, try and keep his head down and work on being a footballer. Crikey, if only. If only I could be. Do you think I'd be doing this channel if I was a right winger for Manchester United getting paid £100,000 a week? Calling Slabby Maguire a fucking melter? Do you think I'd be doing that, lad? Are you thick? Clint? Are you thick, lad? It's not the same at all. This is what I do. I wouldn't be allowed to do this if I was a professional footballer, mate. Of course I wouldn't. I wouldn't even want to. I'd be bloody too busy focusing on living my dream of a footballer, lad. You know what I'm saying? That's what these guys should be doing. They shouldn't be taken to social media. You know? What are you on, lad? What are you on? Yeah, dude, I'm going to give you a card there, my friend. Ridiculous comment of the day, mate. Yellow card for you, sir. Keep your head in order, lad. Otherwise, you'll be getting the red, lad. You'll be getting the fucking red, sir, if you're not careful, lad. Yellow card for you, bro. You're going in the book. Anyway. Thank you very much, though, for getting in here, regardless. Okay, right, guys, come on, though. Jadon Sancho, it's not the same at all. He's a professional footballer. That's his primary job. It doesn't matter what the fuck he is doing beyond that. He shouldn't be talking on social media about the manager. Should have been a red card, absolutely. Anyway, so okay, guys, let's just cover the rest of it. So obviously, it's known that Sancho is out of favour with Ten Hag right now. I mean, this is from the Mirror, though, so this is probably bollocks. But the Mirror reporting that Ten Hag feels the whole situation has been blown out of proportion, believes it can still be resolved to allow Sancho to prove he deserves a place in his team. I still think it can be resolved. Yes or no in the chat, guys. Can this be resolved? Yes or no? I believe it can be. I think the Antony situation plays into Sancho maybe coming back into the side a little bit as well. I do think that Ten Hag is going to arrange a bunch of hoops for Jadon Sancho to jump through in order for him to get back into the side. One of the hoops may be deleting his post and releasing a statement saying that he was in the wrong. Another hoop may be to just perform to a good standard in training and work hard. Another hoop may be, to come back and have that conversation face-to-face with Erik Ten Hag and apologise. So, I think Ten Hag going to arrange a various set of hoops for Jadon Sancho to jump through. And if he successfully jumps through those hoops, then he probably will be allowed a way back into the side, particularly now with what's happened with Antony. So I still think this can be resolved, but it depends on Jadon. Jadon still has this pinned to the top of his social media, and until that goes and he releases a retraction, essentially, and apologises, there probably isn't a way back for him at United. So this is all on Jadon Sancho as well. If he's a big man and he apologises and says sorry and does what's right by the squad and Ten Hag, maybe he can be introduced back into the squad. John Boy says yes, he can be. It can come back and be resolved. No, says Kingslayer. Vincent Bullock says yes. G-Wolf Raymond. No, says Sativa Breeder. Get rid, says IQ Insane. Yeah, but it's got to be now. Exactly. No go. Yep, neither. Well, based on the fact that Jadon Sancho has doubled down and still has this on his social media, I very much doubt that he's in the position where he's even thinking about resolving this properly. Sancho position can be resolved with a visit from Don Piglioni's boys. Everyone praised Ten Hag when he got rid of Ronaldo. I'm guessing that is, you were going to say that. Yeah, got rid of Ronaldo. So, that's true. That's true. I mean, look, obviously Ronaldo's situation was even more apparent, I think, in a lot of ways, because he did a bloody interview with Piers Morgan, criticising the coach and some of the players. And he also, stormed down the tunnel after being asked to come on for a couple of minutes at the end of that Spurs game and stuff like that. So, the Ronaldo situation was even more apparent and in your face. Sancho just put something on social media. If he retracts it, if he backs down, maybe there's a way back for him. Rushy says this is a pattern with Sancho. He's used very similar words in his Dortmund statement when United tried to sign him. Yes, exactly. In 2019, he felt like he was scapegoated for Dortmund as well, and throw his toys out the pram. We saw that report from David Ornstein a few years back, which said exactly the same sort of thing, that he felt like he was being scapegoated. I think this is a common theme with him, Rushy. Absolutely, he just likes to be... he's got a bit of an ego, the guy. Jarvis says it can be, but if I was Ten Hag, I wouldn't. Send him out on exile and state an example. Precisely. Yeah, exactly. Sir Alex did that with bad apples. Well said. Well said. I completely agree with you there, Jarvis. Well said. I think that's what needs to happen, really. So just in terms of where he could go, let's just say this does not get resolved and that Jadon Sancho is not prepared to back down and apologise and be professional and work hard and get his head down and eat a shit sandwich. Because that's what he needs to do, is he needs to eat a shit sandwich at the moment under Ten Hag. Ten Hag is going to arrange a bunch of hoops for him to jump through, and unless he's prepared to jump through those hoops and eat a bit of humble pie, maybe shit sandwich wasn't the best expression to use, but eat a bit of humble pie, if he's not prepared to do that, then yeah, I don't see a way back for the guy at the football club. So he's probably going to have to do that, eat the humble pie, and then maybe he can come back. But in regards to where he could be going, there is some reports that obviously there's teams that are interested in him in January. So let's get this up on the screen. So we know that there were some links with the Bundesliga and Bayern Munich perhaps were interested in him. Obviously there's been interest from Saudi Arabia, which didn't materialise before the close of their window. Maybe Turkish sides interested in him, but would Sancho really be interested in going there? I think he would be interested in going to the Bundesliga. And so, you know, if you think about some of the reports that are coming out, the most likely that we're hearing at the moment would probably be a January move to the Bundesliga. So this is a report that says that Borussia Dortmund plan to launch a fresh move in January to re-sign Manchester United and England winger Jadon Sancho in January if he fails to make peace with manager Erik Ten Hag. And that's blatantly going to happen, isn't it? United will try and sell him. Being able to sell him is another thing, because this guy's being paid an extortionate amount of cash at United to be bang average. And again, it's like we could have probably tried to sell him in the summer transfer window. There were even some reports that we were trying to do just that. But the problem with Sancho is his wages and his value, the amount of money that we paid for him, they're completely far apart. He's not worth what we pay him, and he's probably not worth what another club's considering paying him either in that regard. So United, it'd be another situation where we're having to talk about giving him a golden handshake just to leave the football club, kind of like Maguire at West Ham with that whole link. It's like he's on too much money. These teams aren't going to pay him what we pay him, so there's going to have to be some sort of amount that we settle with him or pay him for the remainder of his contract just to make him go. So it's not as easy as, oh yeah, we can sell him in January to Dortmund. You'd think Dortmund would want him back, but they're not going to want him back for 350k a week or whatever he's on at United. It's unreal. They're not going to want him back for that. So that's where it gets tricky with United being able to sell this guy. I mean, I suppose his transfer fee, when you factor in his wages, is going to be significantly less than what Manchester United paid for him. There were some links with Saudi previously, and it was known that United wanted a £50 million obligation to buy written into the contract if there was going to be any deal. But the chances of that happening are tiny. £50 million for Sancho? No way. Not when he's on the money that he's on. If another prospective club has to pay that money to him, a player that has not progressed at United since he's been here the last couple of seasons, who has a bit of an ego, who is somebody that chucks his toys out the pram and acts like a scapegoat and all this sort of stuff, considers himself to be quite a Billy Big Bollocks, when you factor all those things in, he's what is he, a £20 million player? I don't know, guys. How much do you think Jadon Sancho's worth? Bear in mind, the amount of money that he gets paid is going to be a problem for a lot of these clubs taking him on. So you're talking about somebody that, you know, it's multiple millions of pounds a year. You're talking 15 million a year or whatever it is. Obscene amounts of cash that you have to pay this guy in wages. I mean, if you factor that in, it means that his transfer fee is very small. You can't get anywhere near what we pay for him. First Class Gamer says 30 mil. Freedom says 45. 30 to 40. 25 to 30 says Kerry. Thank you for subscribing there, V Cobra. Nice one. £3.50 says Retro Unlimited. 60 to 70 says Mark N. 20 to 30 says Kingsley. Well, Mark N, I mean, nice to know that you've been on Zayn Miasi's crack pipe again today, lad. You think that Jadon Sancho's still worth 60 to 70 million pounds? You what? Are you mental? Marky N, love you, brother, but what? 60 to 70 mil. We paid 73 mil for him. He's been here at 2 years. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He's gone backwards. He's an ego. He's causing problems for his managers. 70 mil. You having a laugh, son? Are you mental? 35 to 45 says Stephen. 20 to 30 says Michelle. 10 minutes says Duncan. Minus 100 million at the moment. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Rushmano. Hit the old subscribe button. So because of that, anyway, it's just going to be like another scenario where it's tough to sell a player who we don't want anymore. Be it Tony Martial on 200k a week. Be it Maguire on 200k a week. You know, he's another one. Jadon Sancho, on the amount of money that he gets paid every single week, he's going to be very hard to offload. And it's a disgrace and a nonsense. I guess the best case scenario would be to try and swap him for a player at another football club who's of a similar profile, i.e., an expensive player on big money. That would probably be the best way of getting rid of Jadon Sancho. So there were some talks that maybe United were trying, before obviously we loaned Reguilon, we were trying and swap him for Marc Cucurella over at Chelsea, who they paid like 50 million for and is on big money. Maybe a swap deal is the best way to get value out of this deal and to try and get a deal done with another big club. That might be the best way, because, I could see Jadon Sancho wanting to play for a team like Chelsea or something like that, because he's a big ego Instagram footballer, and maybe that would be the best way to actually justify it, because if they're offloading a player who cost them a lot and is on big money, it kind of stacks up. That's maybe the only way that you could get it done. Thank you, Stephanie Griffith, with the likes tally. Says we got 145 likes. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to smash that like button. Please do hit that thumbs up on this video if you haven't done so. Drop a little like on it. Help us get to 200 likes on this show. That's the target. Hit the thumbs up button, guys. It takes a second, and it also helps the channel out, boost up on the algorithm, and compete with clickbait wankers and corporation monstrosities. So make sure you hit the thumbs up. That's all we ask around here, is a cheeky like spike. And hit the subscribe button, guys. We're on our way to 75,000 subscribers. Oh, yes. We've now reached the same capacity as Old Trafford. It's absolutely immense. Thank you, all of you. Okay, let's cover the rest of the latest news, guys. I'm going to move on from Sancho now because it is very annoying. We can get back into it for the Q&A in a little bit. But we've got one or two little bits and bobs to discuss other than the Sancho and the Antony stuff. Okay, so look, there's a report here that Mason Mount has had a positive scan and that maybe he could be back straight away after international duty, which would be nice. Let's hope that he is fit and available, because we're probably going to need him right now, based on the fact, that we've got this problem at the right wing position. Could well be Mount that's played at right wing. It could be Bruno. I don't think that's the case. I think Pelistri should be given the chance, but, I could see Ten Hag doing that because he's done that plenty of times. Just on some other sort of transfer news type things, little bits and bobs very quickly. So Scott McTominay, obviously Scotland's beast and European Championship qualifiers top scorer, Scotty McTominay, is still a target apparently for Fulham. We know that they had some interest to bring him in the summer transfer window, didn't materialise, and there's interest from Paulinho. Look, interest for Paulinho. He almost went to the Bundesliga, of course. Of course we should try and get Paulinho. That's who we should absolutely try and get. If we could do some sort of swap deal with Fulham, that would be the best thing to do. But again, very unlikely, I suppose, because it's on Scott McTominay and whether or not this guy wants to go. But if now, between now and January, Scott McTominay doesn't get much game time, it is quite possible that he might be prepared to go to a club like Fulham. Let's hope that that's true. But look at that. Fulham eyeing up a move for Scott McTominay in January, as they could let João Paulinho leave for Bayern Munich then. I mean, we should be going for Paulinho, to be fair, but that won't happen. But let's hope that Scott McTominay can be sold in January as well. And just in regard to another player United are trying to offload, still currently at this moment in time, Donny van der Beek. Manchester United had been determined to offload Donny van der Beek on a permanent basis, but are now considering a loan exit for the Dutchman, who's not part of Ten Hag's plans. Again, it's doubtful whether or not we could get rid of another player here who is hard to get rid of. He's hard to get rid of. But I think Donny wants to play, and if there isn't a decent offer on the table for United for Donny, I believe we could probably do that deal. So we're just waiting for more news there, guys. Waiting for more news there. Okay, just on the Glazers shithouses for a time being. These wank pieces are still here overseeing this horrible period of gashness at the football club. And, we've still got this scenario. It is a disgrace. I mean, just look at this situation. I don't know if you've seen, the latest, what's going on with stadiums, Barcelona and Real Madrid. Have you seen Real Madrid? Have you seen Real Madrid's retractable pitch? Smash a 1 if you've seen Real Madrid's retractable pitch. If not, go and check it out. So I woke up this morning and it just popped, I don't know why, it popped into my head. I saw it yesterday and it popped into my head. I thought that I dreamt it. I thought I dreamed that Real Madrid had this retractable pitch, because it almost sounds too insane, But they've actually built this setup there now where their pitch goes into 4 different segments. And it basically gets tucked away below a part of the stadium. And then it frees up the rest of the stadium to be used for other events, concerts, things like that without damaging the pitch. So, that's pretty awesome, isn't it? Think about that. They've got UV lights and artificial lights and stuff like that, LED lighting down there that keeps the pitch in fantastic condition. Other clubs are doing this as well. You've seen Manchester City's recent plans with their stadium and facilities. and improving the ground, improving every sort of aspect of the facilities. Look at this. Sam Wallace reports that Europe's biggest clubs were told this week that this is the era of multi-use stadium entertainment venues. You know, you see Real Madrid's retractable pitch. The contrast in Manchester is stark. Man City are busy building, and Man United are stuck in limbo. This is what our owners are all about. They don't care about us. We are being left behind. Manchester United stadium and facilities is basically stuck in the 1990s. It's in the dark ages of football compared to the modern day, where you've got all these different football clubs doing crazy investments, crazy business. City have just had loads of new planning approved to improve their facilities massively. And you're looking at teams like Real Madrid who are spending the money to improve their facilities and to, you know, make them state of the art. And Man United are just playing with some 1990s setup. It's not the 1990s anymore. The 1990s was a great era for Manchester United, and during the 1990s we were at the forefront, you know, of facilities that we're certainly not anymore. That's 30 years ago now, guys. It's over 30 years ago, the 1990s. So it's just like we've got to do something, and we're not going to ever do anything with the Glazer shithouses at this football club. Never. We won't do it. They won't invest that level of money into the infrastructure of this football club. It's going to take hundreds of millions, billions, to get to where we need to be in terms of just the stadium. The stadium is basically a relic of the Premier League of the 1990s. It is needing serious refurbishment, serious reinvestment, maybe a rebuild. I mean, I don't want to lose the history, tradition, the heritage of Old Trafford, but at the same time, we are seriously left behind in terms of the facilities, and considering the huge club that we are, the fan base, the support, the money that's generated, it should not be the case. We should always be at the forefront of technology and facilities as far as I'm concerned, and we're massively not. Yeah, you're right, Flip. Man United still using Windows 95. That's right. They're using Acorn computers in their offices. You know what I'm saying? They're using brother fax machines from the 1980s, bro. That's what's going on there. You're absolutely spot on. We are left behind. You know, Ronaldo said it in an interview with Piers Morgan. That's one of the only things that I do agree with him about, the level of investment that there has been since he left. He said when he came back, it was like when he was last there previously. The club hadn't moved forward. The equipment in the gym even was still, back in the day, the same old guff. You know, running on a 1990s Argos catalogue Tunchori treadmill, etc. You know, that kind of stuff. And very, very, very much not any progression taking place. I mean, Zlatan Ibrahimovic said something similar as well, didn't he? He said something along the lines of he was expecting this amazing setup when he got there, and when he entered Manchester United, when he got there, obviously from the outside it looks great, but from the inside he realised that it was a club with a closed off mentality when it comes to progression. It's just bang out of order, man. And we're in this position really with the Glazer shithouses where we are. You know, we're so far behind what other clubs are doing. It is a disgrace. Yeah, ZX Spectrum's all round. Precisely. Amstrad's in the gaff. You know what I'm saying? It's an absolute shocker. So that's what the football club's doing, really. It's just being left behind in all regards. So the 1958 guys are trying to basically help organise another sit-in at Old Trafford. And, you know, the thing is that... you know, the TRA now has also, and the 1958 and the TRA have basically been classed now as a risk group, apparently, basically for like from the police, and United, I think, are involved obviously with this. Of course they are. So apparently the police are sort of seeing the TRA and the 1958 as essentially risk groups. It was very, very peaceful, the last sit-in at Old Trafford. Of course it was peaceful, yeah. They're chanting Glazers out, and they're representing, you know, the need for change. But there's nothing going on there with, you know, riots or anything like that. There was that incident with, you know, at the Liverpool game where a camera was smashed a couple of years back. But that's just a couple of individuals. That's nothing to do with these supporters groups. So what's being reported is that, you know, these clubs are now viewed as a risk. These clubs, these supporters groups are viewed as a risk by the police, essentially, and the football club. And it's just ridiculous, you know. They're just having their say as fans. It's actually a joke. You look at all these different outlets like Sky Sports, when they're airing games of football, they basically dampen the chants, the anti-Glazer chants. They dampen them. And in fact, I've seen some reports that even replace them with other chants. Exactly. Sing Game says police paid off. Who knows what's going on there? Shocking by the club, isn't it? So you've got different reports now that these supporters groups are being condemned, basically, by police. They're viewed as risk groups. I mean, I just think it's a disgrace, really. You know, the 1958 obviously trying to arrange sit-ins, trying to arrange protests, and that's what they've been doing successfully as well, and raising the sort of profile of this fan group that is all about getting the Glazers out. And I myself as a United fan think that we are being so left behind by our owners in all areas that the only option is for them to go. We know there's negotiations for the sale at the moment, but it's taken so long because they just want as much money as they can get. Just take the $6 billion and fuck off. It's that simple. So, the 1958 feel like they're being, censored at this moment in time, and they are. So, they're basically being censored at this moment in time, and Manchester United are essentially working, it seems now, with the police to, I don't know what they're going to try and do here, but to try and dampen their efforts. That's what seems like is the case. And it's a disgrace, guys. Sing loudly from the rooftops, Glazers out, and support these supporters groups like the 1958 peeps. Get in there. Right, okay. Very annoying. Right, I'm just going to do a rundown of what we discussed in this video today, folks. Then I'm going to get into the live chat for a Q&A for a few minutes. And, great stuff, Rushy. We got new plans for the 1958 coming tomorrow. We'll keep you posted, guys. Coward owners, exactly, Jonathan Gallagher. Let's get some hashtag Glazers outs in the live chat, everybody. Thank you so much. Because look at this. This is only going to get worse and more apparent. We're left behind in all areas at this football club. It's not just about how much they spend on players. Yeah, they have spent a bit on players. They spent fucking billions on players. Spent a lot of it badly, but they have spent money on players. But it's about the rest of the football club, all other aspects of the football club, and we are massively behind. It's a disgrace. Okay, so, right, everybody, smash the like on the video, hit the subscribe button, get yourself involved. I'm just going to do a quick rundown of what we discussed in this video. So Man United releasing a statement, of course, about Antony's situation at the football club, and obviously not very nice situation going on there. United acknowledges the allegations made against Antony. Players who have participated in international duty are, of course, expected back in training for Monday. However, it's been agreed with Antony that he will delay his return until further notice in order to address the allegations made against him. As a club, we condemn acts of violence and abuse. We recognise the importance of safeguarding all those involved in this situation and acknowledge the impact these allegations have on survivors of abuse. So United obviously taking the stance to give him a leave of absence. Not wording it as a suspension, but give him a leave of absence right now. Antony's also responded, and he's released a statement as well, and his statement, says that he's also agreed to a leave of absence. Basically, he says, I have agreed with United to take a period of absence while I address the allegations that are made against me. This was a mutual decision. I want to reiterate my innocence of the things I've been accused of. I will fully cooperate with the police. So he's accused of certain things here, obviously, and he's going to try and defend himself, and the stance has been taken from United to, focus on that, for him to focus on defending himself right now, and to basically protect Manchester United, protect the brand, protect Antony as well, and obviously protect victims of domestic abuse as well, of course. So, and then also Sancho, the Sancho news, guys, we're expecting that there's going to be an issue at right wing now, because that position needs to be addressed with these issues with Sancho and Antony and Greenwood, etc. But now it's expected that Ten Hag is going to have a face-to-face meeting with Sancho at some point, and let's see if they can repair this relationship. There is showdown talks that are expected to take place. It's doubtful, of course. It is reported by various outlets that it's reasonably doubtful that this can be repaired due to the fact that Sancho still has this message pinned to his social media, and he hasn't backed down as of yet. If he's prepared to back down, maybe he can be brought back into the club. If not, then he'll probably be benched for the entire rest of the season, certainly until January, when maybe other clubs such as Dortmund or Bayern or whoever may be interested in taking him on in some capacity. But he will be very hard to sell due to his wages, etc. I mean, that's basically the latest news of the day, guys. I'm going to get stuck into the live chat for just a couple of minutes. Thank you, everyone, for getting in. I'm going to go over and shout out all the retweeters on the channel, actually. The link's pinned to the top of the chat there. Make sure you hit the old retweet and smash the likes and smash the subscribe if you're new. But I'm just going to go shout out everyone who's retweeted the show. Big up the 19 legends that have done it. Thank you for spreading the word. It helps us out, man. Thank you so much. Baronia Day, Guy Am Legend. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for quote reposting us. Also, we've had reposts here by Aaron Homeyard, Ronnie Dodge, Vincent Bullock, MUFC Brummy Reds, Edward McAllister, Sin Games, Jarvis Cocker, Thugger007, Stephen Braun, John Boy Cat, Boomy, Feline Fur, Kieran Watts. Also, we've got transfers _UTD, Peronia Day, Kane, Tommy Boyle, G-Dad Gamer, Bill Meister, Mike C, CZ Bam, and United Mark. Thank you so much, everybody, for giving us a repost there. That's fucking awesome. In fact, we've had a couple more reposts there as well. Thank you so much to you all for sharing the show out there on social media. It does help the channel out. Luan France as well getting in there. Thank you so much, Luan, and United Mark and everyone. Thank you, guys. That's it for the reposters, but it does help. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to get into the live chat for just a couple of minutes. Oh, the Hoop Man, thank you, says, let's get 200 likes. Thank you, buddy. Brighton's Clear United at the moment says must play. They're a very well-run club, mate. Very well-run club. And they're actually a club that's performing... You know, they've got a modern stadium. They've invested brilliantly in players. They sell players fantastically. Think about the contrast to when United sell players. We get a pittance for our players because we pay them so much money. They get 100 million for their players when they sell them, or a lot of money. So they are producing good talents and selling talents for what really great cash, reinvesting it brilliantly. Brighton are a fantastic run club, must play. And United couldn't be further from that at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if Brighton beat us in that upcoming game, to be fair, with how things are at the club. I don't want to speak like that. Of course, obviously, I'm hoping United can still do it. But, man, you look at the start to the season we've had, you look at the place the club's in, the turmoil's going on at the football club. Brighton are in a totally different vein of form right now. They're in all aspects of the club. They're doing brilliantly. It's going to be a tough game, that one. I think it's supposed to be released tonight, isn't it, Clint Torres, over in Brazil? So there may be some quotes and information coming out there. I think it's tonight that interview's being aired, I believe. Thank you for subscribing, Prakash Kumar. Nice one, bro. Mark says, Pig, I had a dream like the octopus. Sancho explodes into 20-25 goals and 10 assists. The octopus? The octopus? Octopussy, you mean? Octopus, fair enough. No, that would be cool, wouldn't it? If he just backs down, apologises, gets back into the side, and it has an awesome season. That would be amazing. Stefan, it's doubtful, Stefan. I think it's doubtful, lad. It's possible, but it's doubtful. Look, he didn't play for Morocco. He was sent back in order to just rest up and get better and fit for United. He might be given some minutes, but I doubt he'll be starting the game, to be honest. You never know. Exactly. Greedy shithouse Glazers. I hope so, Mark N. I hope so, bud. Matoma's a great player, to be fair, lad. Matoma's class. I mean, you say Matoma's far better than Rashford, but Matoma got like 10 goals for Brighton last season or something. Rashford scored 30 for United, so I don't know about that, bud. But Matoma's a class player. I'd definitely have him at the club. Next week, Old Trafford will collapse with our luck, says Paul. Brighton are in big trouble this week, just a feeling. Thank you, Randall McMondo. Ferguson is awesome. Michelle, he's injured, thank God. Our season was over before it started because of the Glazer bastards. Well said, DJ Superfly guy. Absolutely, lad. Absolutely. Glazers versus the fans. Bring it on. Yep. Yeah, Hansi Flick sacking. What you reckon? Kloppy poaching. That would be great to me. Yeah, I'd like that. That would be awesome. Thank you, Rushmano. He says, smash the like for the pig. It helps the channel out. Get in there, my son. Yeah, so hang on. Aren't Denmark playing right now? Is Højlund started for Denmark? Let me just go and see if I can find that out. So Denmark are playing right now against Finland, aren't they? Let's have a look. Denmark football. Let me just put that into Google and see what's going on. Lineups. No, he's not. He's on the bench. Okay, he's on the bench. Just Christian Eriksen starting the game. Interesting. So, I don't really know what that means. Does that mean he's not 100% fit, or is he just being rested for United and there's been some sort of an understanding going on there? I don't know. We'll see. He's on the bench as Pablo Palmares. Okay, thank you very much for letting us know. Yeah, McTominay top scorer, mate. Unreal, isn't it? Look at this. McTominay doing absolute bitty bits in Europe, mate. Euro qualifying top scorer, Scotty McTominay. Absolutely brilliant, lad. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Just Ericsson. Thank you, Shane. Okay, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Thank you, Paul, for liking the video, mate. I appreciate that. Amrabat, not playing means a drab game. We can end up getting smashed. Maybe. We need that important, strong base to build from. Biddy says, Pig, what do you think the next bad news we'll hear out of Old Trafford? Nana confirms tomorrow's return to Cameroon. Yeah, exactly, Billy. I know. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, we'll have a couple of players out for the Africa Cup of Nations at this rate. We've got Amrabat as well. We've got, of course, Onana. It's outrageous, isn't it? Okay, then. So, Right, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. Hey, Luan France, what's going on? Scotty Max, the top scorer in the Euros so far. I know that's brilliant, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely insane. Tommy Boyle says authorities up the risk profile of a group to give themselves more right to disperse a group gathering. In other words, they'll have a van round the corner with batons and shield copper sat in it. Exactly, Tommy Boyle. I know, it's absolute outrage, isn't it? Just for voicing your opinion of how getting the Glazers out. Not by being violent, not by being riotous or anything like that, no. Just from being vocal. That's a disgrace. There's a right to protest in this country, a freedom of speech that needs to be protected here. It's a shambles. Hashtag Glazers out. Thank you very much, Rushmano. Let's end this stream with a hashtag Glazers out. Interesting, Sin Games. You always said to try McTominay up front. Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. He can put the ball in the back of the net, I suppose. I think he's better going forward than he is defensively, 100%. Thank you, Travadinho. Hey, thank you, everyone, for getting in here. We're going to wrap the video up. Come back afterwards and have your say about anything we've discussed in this video. Do appreciate you all for getting in and having your say. Remember, we'll be back on at about 10 o'clock tonight with the latest Man United news. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's sad news with the Antony scenario, but maybe it's the right thing for the club to do at this moment in time. G-Wolf, I mean, yes, do what you can do, mate, absolutely. But I think there's been very many petitions signed and things like that about getting the Glazers out of this club, and the government haven't done jack shit. I mean, we've talked about that 50-1 ownership model of Germany over the last few years, and nothing's materialised there. Thank you, Gungshi. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all moderators, all members, and getting in here with your thoughts and opinions. I do appreciate you all. Get in there, 189 likes. Let's be having you. Thank you so much, guys. Let's see if we can get 200 likes, and I'll leave it there. Have a great afternoon. We'll be back, or great evening. We'll be back at 10 p.m. with the United news of the evening then. Hopefully some positive stuff to talk about, but it's doubtful. Once again, big love to you all. That's it from me. Like, subscribe, comment. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. All the links are in the description at Flying Pig United. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. Thank you all for getting in. Stay classy. And remember, when the seagulls... Right back at you, Billy. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, everyone. Get some Glazers out in there. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.